Then we are live.
Hello and welcome to our actual play of Curse of Strahd as presented by For the Love of Crits. I'm level 1 Dungeon Master Hunter Ayu, and we thank you again for joining us as we follow our Lost Clerics of Barovia deeper into the mist. Curse of Strahd, which was created by Wizards of the Coast, is known for its dark themes and mature content. Viewer discretion is advised due to the adult language and themes. Please keep the chat civil, avoid spoilers for this Wizards of the Coast adventure. We are going to be having Conerith enact a recollection to catch us up with our cluster of clerics. And please don't forget, for the love of crits, like, comment, and subscribe.
As Conerith walks silently along, his mind drifts to events past. Seeking solace, he more frequently finds himself in inaudible conversations with his unseen companion. Shade, guard of my steps, extension of my will, antipathy to light, and imposition of justice. I grow tired of these games. Every corner of this land holds a unique pestilence for us to exterminate. Even this city, which prides itself in false perfection, houses horrors brought about by the callous, the proud, and the foolhardy. This show does not distract from that. A ridiculous turn of events, a tiger scattering the precious festival, the blazing sun, was a welcome act. The pretense here wears thin. My nose is itched with overwhelming smells. All these people ever since we got back. My ears ring with the throngs of voices. No doubt more horrors await us outside the city walls, but for a brief time we'll have an easier time discerning friend from foe. The boy, Victor. None of us would have suspected if not for the discovery of that sickening diary. Even though his own writing attested his misdeeds, he still sounded so convincing. I'm glad we discovered him when we did. The others seem unsure of our new path, but this was a unique moment of clarity. I'm glad Herbert came around. He seems regrettably regretful of what he did, but he's coming around to what must be done. We are the key, Shade. I understand why you took this form now. It's a representation of who we are to be, what we must be. We are the key to this land. We'll open it up to the world, releasing these poor soulless people from their confines. This land will be purged by the light that surges in. Selûne will have her day, but it may not be this day. Like insects that scurry to shadow, the abominations will simply scatter and continue to rot the land unless they're dealt with. The most effective place to deal with them is in the darkness they bathe. I'm aware this is a bitter pill, but a crusade must be waged, and I can trust that you will continue to aid me in this. I hope you may reveal more to me. Perhaps there are similar forces which reside in the keys of the others. If the power they grant amounts to yours, then we may see our way through this land. Will the others understand, though? Perhaps not yet. Their spirits will break down eventually, and you helped rebuild mine.
So when we last left our intrepid heroes, our Lost Clerics of Barovia, they had just assisted Rictavio escaping with Ramses, the tiger that had terrorized on accident the town of Valaki. You were all entering back into the cathedral. Was there anything you were all doing before turning in for the evening? Or I guess at this point it's still, I think it's around 5 in the afternoon, or 5 in the evening.
If Milavosh, that's his name, Gravedigger Kid, if he's still sick, Graves would probably do some tidying up in some generic, give a hand out in the cemetery if he's still sick. Keep it up.
Yes.
Spend
So
some time just thinking
as you arrive there, you
and
would see Father Petrovich is walking around. Let me pull up our Church of St. Andrew map. There we go, and I'm bringing... Let's see. Okay. There we go. I'm bringing you all over.
Doesn't seem like I have a token right
Okay.
now.
No, you would not. So let's see. I believe it was we were taking some screenshots and everything. So let me bring everyone over here. And Onyx. There we go. We have you all in front of the church. All right. So as you arrive, Father Petrovich would be quite a few people have sought refuge in the church. So it's actually fairly packed, as opposed to the last few times you came here, where there are regular people here, but definitely wouldn't be standing shoulder to shoulder. Now, in fact, you walk into here, you hear a large amount of people congregating. The smell invades your senses of that musky, wet dog smell of people who just came in from the rain and are not fully dried off yet, mingling. As the doors open, you see people looking your way, but they seem mostly determined to get closer to the middle of the church itself. You do not see Milovaj around. You do see Father Petrovich kind of standing over here. There we go. He's standing over here and he's kind of ushering people through, forcing them to move closer and closer inside. He's holding his scepter up, like his staff that he carries around with him, and he's ushering people through, and he sees you and he's like, friends, perhaps you can shed some light. Do you know if the tiger is still out and about? The guards have not been of help to us.
Well, I think the tiger's long gone.
I'm glad to hear that.
I believe it's been dealt with.
He kind of
What do you mean you
moved
believe?
some of the
We
last
did it.
people.
We took care of it.
Oh, I'm glad to hear that. No, I mean, I'm sure you can all relate. I'm glad that people are in the church, but it's quite busy here. And he kind of chuckles. in kind of exasperation of the situation that has come to his doorstep. He's like, well, they at least are able to stay dry here. I'm going to be beginning the mid-evening prayers. If anyone needs assistance, or if you could spread that the tigers themselves are for certain gone, I think that would be of exceptional help to us.
Of course. That's Graves' voice, right?
Yeah.
Sounded good to me.
I think that's the voice I use for him. It makes sense, at least.
Out of curiosity, can you guys hear the music? I don't know if it's just an issue on my end or if it's...
No, I don't hear anything from Syrinscape.
Okay.
Yeah, it's back now. It just restarted for me. But...
Have it.
Not for me.
So the
I
stream.
see the map of the lucky. That's the important part.
I'll say I'm going to switch to something that's louder to kind of get it reset, and then...
Alright, there we go.
There we go.
Oh.
Oh, 2 arms. I thought it was yelling dwarves. I was like, I mean, I like me some dwarves. I love dwarves, but to arms makes more sense.
Dwarves.
Dwarves. Oh.
Go.
Yeah, I don't.
And there.
I'm trying to think of what Herbert would do here. You probably would try to like make some loud noise to get everyone's attention. So that's not what we need in a like sort of tense situation where the people might be fearful. So
Okay.
Part of me is like, Graves probably is not used to large crowds, but also like he's the charisma guy.
When you're the face of the group, but also an introvert, it's
Yeah, he's from a
Tough spot
tiny
to
little
be in.
town, like a shit ton of people like this. He's like, I don't know what the fuck's going on. But I guess Graves might kind of walk up and like, excuse me, everyone. And see like if people start to listen to him at all. It's just kind of like just walk up to the edge of the crowd.
I mean, roll me a persuasion check.
All right. Let's see it. It lands on at 9. What's my bonus? Skills. Persuasion +4. That's a 13.
Okay. So you see some people kind of turn your way.
Like
as you're saying it. So say your piece.
So, the tiger has been dealt with. It is safe outside once again. If you could just spread that along through the rest of the crowd. I mean, I'm not saying to leave. Service is about to begin, but there's no dangers outside in the streets anymore. And then he'll kind of just like pull his cloak back up, kind of just go like set his lantern down in another room, pick up a shovel, and just go outside.
Okay. So, you are able to go outside. We'll come back to Graves here in a moment. You guys do see that, that Irina is here. As she is kind of helping comfort some of the people in there. Everyone in here looks like they could use a shower. They are covered in mud and water and sweat, and all have had a pretty rough day overall.
Yeah, Graves is like, I'm tired of these crowds, and just like dips outside.
As far as downtime goes, is there anything that anyone is looking at trying to achieve
Yes.
over the next bit? Okay.
Herbert is probably going to head down to the I forget the exact name of the stockyard.
The Arisek stockyard.
Arisek stockyard.
Is it also still pouring?
And see.
It is not anymore.
Okay.
And he's going to see if maybe they have some incense or other components that he can use.
Okay.
Get his familiar.
Okay.
Familiar, yeah.
Okay, let me take a look here.
I love familiars. Even beyond mechanical purpose, like, I just love familiars.
You have a little guy.
Yeah. My favorite was when I played Finn, who you guys have now met in the Seocene game. Timmy was a little toad that was technically like also an air elemental and such.
Now he's a bird.
Yes, because in Pathfinder, each type of familiar grants you a bonus to normally like a skill or initiative. Toads granted you HP, and kineticists burn their own HP. So he was originally a toad, then he became a bird-looking lightning elemental who grumbles as you guys enter the tavern. But I love familiars.
So
I love them.
it has also been a little bit of time as well since we last played. You guys do now have the tome of Strahd that you had previously learned some information from.
I
believe that is
has it right now.
Yes. Once per day during downtime, you are able to attempt an investigation check to learn more about it, or be able to utilize other methods other than investigation as you see fit.
Yeah, Graves is out doing his own thing. If you wait till the evening, he's back. But if you want to do without him, because he's just digging graves in the rain. So.
Yeah. Now I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, you guys had already attempted it, or was it yesterday evening that you had attempted it?
I think it would have been yesterday.
Oh yeah, when we picked it up.
Yeah, because today, like, we just went right to the festival.
Okay,
I know.
Right.
I had found out a piece of information from it. That was the last thing.
Yeah, I think
don't know
it was
when that was. I want to say that it was in the evening.
Yeah, I think it was yesterday evening.
Okay.
I could be wrong, but a bunch of us think that, so probably right. Probably.
Let's see. Okay. So I figured I'd mention that is something that could be partaken in. I'm not going to require like a full day of downtime for it. Now, the longer you take, I might give advantages for how long you have to discover it, but I'd say at least an hour or two devoted to studying it would allow for an investigation check.
Right on.
So, that being said, other than Graves, and then Herbert going to the Arisec stockyard, Onyx, Conerth, are either of you doing anything or talking to anyone in particular?
The only thing I'd be doing is starting to go around the church and see if there's any... I know it's been raining, so kind of paths of trampled grass or anything that is not common.
Okay.
Like, look at these muddy footprints, and then you just follow them and you find graves.
Because I'm still trying to figure out who stole from us.
Okay, yeah.
So it wasn't Milovash.
I mean, you can roll me an investigation check to see if you see anything out of the ordinary. Are you looking anywhere in particular? Outside, inside?
Mostly outside.
Okay.
Yeah, it's in the cemetery. Like, Graves is like doing some general grave keeping work. But if you're like, hey, Graves, keep an eye out, he would keep an eye out for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, so I can aid if you want me to.
Sure.
I'd allow you to roll at advantage.
Okay. Not bad.
Okay. What'd you roll?
Oh, did it not come through?
It did not.
No.
It's not in the chat?
It is not that I'm seeing.
Oh
Nope,
yeah,
don't
no,
see it.
it's in
Oh yeah,
the chat message.
investigation check. Okay,
15.
got it. Okay, cool. That's a new symbiote, so it won't actually roll the die for you, but we'll show it. Okay,
Right,
cool.
because I'm
Good to know.
rolling it in D&D Beyond.
It'd be cool if there
Okay.
was a setting to make it like appear above your head.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't have the symbiote activated, I don't think, so I don't see it at all, but I don't need to see your rolls if you're going to say them.
Yeah, it's a 15.
Oh, gotcha.
Okay, awesome. Okay, that's cool that you're able to use the D&D Beyond because I know that was something you wanted.
Yes.
So
Have times like,
being
oh, not
said,
20 there. Oh, 2 in Talespire.
you are able to determine that you would have no way of knowing anything. You don't think that even if even an extremely skilled ranger would have difficulty trying to discover anything here. The only thing you see that there are a lot of footprints around, and there was very recent rainfall that would have obliterated anything but the trampolines from the recent tiger incident.
Okay. Then, in that case, I would just pick a spot that is well hidden in shadows looking down the street, and I am just going to watch people for like the next 2 hours.
Okay. Just to
Nice.
kind of get their interactions and
Yep.
everything like that. Okay.
I like it.
Roll me a stealth check at advantage because you don't have to move if you're standing still.
12.
Because you are able a 12.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll save that for later. So let's see. Graves, you are able to go out. I'm not going to require you to roll for anything in particular. You do find yourself feeling a little bit tired from it because the ground is very wet, so you're having to move around a lot more weight than you normally would whenever you shovel or you're having to walk.
Yep.
Squelching
Really?
the ground. But it's kind of nice to return to a monotonous labor for you. That's almost pleasant. Like
Yeah, he's
greeting an
not
old
like
friend.
really doing much. I say, give Honest a hand for a couple minutes. Then it's just say, doing the work, whatever. Occasionally, he didn't bring his lantern out, but he kind of occasionally like so wants to be like mumbling, seemingly to himself, whatever, and like sometimes thumbs the ornate key a little bit and such. But he's mostly just kind of doing work, musing to himself about what's been going on and such. That's about it for him.
Alright. Roll me a perception check when you have a moment.
Graves?
Yeah, Graves can roll me a perception check. Connerith, are you doing anything in particular?
It's the evening, right? Have I been left alone, or is Herbert still there? I see him next to me. Or were you doing something?
Herbert was going to Arisek Stockyard.
Yeah, I think he would check in before he like leaves, so you guys would know that he's just gonna go to the Arisek stockyard and try to get some supplies. But
would you join him?
How close to the evening is it? I'm forgetting what time it was.
about 5.
Or is this midday?
It's like right around 5.
Yeah.
Because the noon time was when the lighting of it was going to take place. There was probably about an hour or two period after the tiger incident. Or probably... no, it was like midday when the rain began. So right around like 2 or 3 at that time. And that's been 2 or 3 hours since the tiger incident started.
Yeah, I'd stick with Herbert if he'd have me.
Okay.
Of course.
Okay. Onyx, you said you were looking down the street. We'll determine what area you're wanting to look in once we go to the city map.
No, you're fine.
So we are going to kind of talk about what happens to Graves while you guys are away for the Arisek Stockyard trip. You rolled a 5, is that correct,
5.
Graves?
Yep.
Okay.
He's just like, I'm digging graves.
You are like, you jump down into a grave. You're digging it down from the bottom. The ground is probably about The ground is probably at about shoulder height right now, so about
Got
4
about
feet deep.
2 feet more to go.
Yeah, and so you're just digging, and as you're shoveling, you just hear the crunching of the dirt because you're now getting to the dry stuff. It's a lot easier. You're loving the feel of the wood in your hands, of being like a working laborer again, and just being able to kind of shut off your brain. And
Good old
just
days
being
of
there
like 2 months ago.
when all of a sudden you get a hit on the top of the head, and you just hear, "Oi, I'm talking to you." You look up to see one of the two gentlemen that had run into the stockyard, or into the city central area. I'm trying to remember the word for it. But with the tigers close on their heels, it is looks like what you would guess to be the older of the two.
Oh, sorry, sir. I was not expecting anyone else to be in the cemetery this time.
You have cotton in your ears, eh?
Some days.
You Graves.
I am, yes. And you are?
You're a grave digger, and your name is Graves.
Yes. Many people have commented on it. I don't really have an answer for you, but yes.
He just kind of, his mouth slightly open. He just is staring like right at you, kind of like dumbfounded, and he just kind of like scratches the side of his head, and doesn't say anything.
Yep. Is there anything I can do to help you, sir?
Oh, yeah, and he kind of pats and he pulls out a piece of paper and hands it to you. He's like, "Me ma'am, she wants you to come for breakfast."
Oh, Grian's kind of look at it. I assume like he'll see like a seal or something that indicates the Voctors.
You do. You see a similar seal. She was actually wearing a pendant with a similar symbol on it. With
Lady,
like a W.
Yeah, Lady Voctor then, yes?
Yeah, Lady Voctor.
Excellent. I've been wishing to speak more with her. Thank you, my good sir. Apologies for not noticing you coming. I was just kind of lost in the work, but thank you.
He kind of nods and he's like, Why are you out here? I thought Milivaj did this.
Milivaj is sick at the moment, filling in.
I'll have to have a talk with him. He owes us some money still. That's neither here nor there.
Yes, well, so he's feeling under the weather today. Hopefully he'll be back in the next day or so. I'm out here in the meantime.
Yeah. Honest work, innit?
Sure is, and it's got to be done. Don't want bodies piling up in the streets.
He kind of nods. And you see he kind of reaches into his pocket and pulls out some tobacco and kind of shoves it into his lip and kind of sucks his teeth. And he's not going away. He's just kind of standing there very awkwardly. That you, despite like only having met like less than 100 people in your entire memory, you're like, this guy's weird.
Yeah, it's a little weirdo.
And it stands out.
Okay. And you said Milivaj owes you some money, May not be money business, but if you're willing to share, I'd just be curious what he owes you for.
Roll me a persuasion check.
Oh, yes. A 2 this time. I have a +4. 9.
You're right. None of your business.
Well, that's fair. That's very fair, my friend. But you work for Lady Voctor? You are regular servant to hers, or just hired out for certain jobs?
What you mean by that?
Are you more so like an independent worker, or are you Well,
No,
servant of the household
I
type of
told
deal.
you, she's my mom.
All right. I'm sorry. I'm from a very small community where we don't really have
You don't have
Um,
moms?
not in the same way you do here. We don't really have
What?
any like houses of certain names. It's kind of like how you have like the common workers who just no one really knows, like
Okay.
no one really
okay.
cares. They're not a big fancy family or anything.
Okay, I don't care where you come from. Everyone's has a man.
Well, I mean, we have like women in the place, but we have no like of the old families type deal.
It doesn't matter how old your family is. Everyone has a man.
All right. Because we're thinking of it in different ways. But yes, there are, in that case, there are men.
Can you roll me an insight check
Grace is just
for
agree
Grace?
to disagrey. Whatever.
Yeah. Grace is like now halfway. He's like, he's trying to say mom instead of ma'am, but we'll see. 10
You
plus.
determined that he just has a very bad pronunciation of mom.
Oh.
And he is in
Yes.
fact saying that she is his mother.
Yes. Well, I suppose most to the point, I don't have one that I know of, I suppose.
He kind of looks at you. He's like, "So you're an orphan, like the ones in the what's it?"
More or less.
So you had one. You
Yeah.
just don't know.
Exactly.
Who it is.
Exactly. You've got it.
Oh,
Sorry,
okay.
I was being a little confusing.
Yeah,
But yes,
because everyone's has a map.
Yeah, you had to be born somehow, but I just don't know
Okay.
who birthed me.
Okay. So
Yes. Sorry for the confusion, my friend.
yeah, yeah, that was pretty weird. It was.
Well, I'm a weird fellow. Ain't no one else in Barovia like me.
He just kind of nods in agreement, and he's like, my ma'am said to tell you that you could bring your other adventuring pals as well
Oh, excellent.
in the morning.
Excellent.
Patricia will let you in, our housemaid.
I believe I met her once.
Yes,
So,
but
well,
yeah,
thank you, my
she'll
friend.
let you in.
Excellent. Thank you, my friend.
He just nods and he's like, I'm going to go get a drink.
It's been one of those days, but it's a good plan. Enjoy your drink, my friend. We'll likely be seeing you around then.
Kind of nods and walks away, and he kind of looks back at you multiple times as he's walking away. Kind of looks like he's doing double takes as he's going from the interaction.
Yep. Graves is a bit odd, and he misunderstood him, so it was a weird interaction. Two weird guys just being there like, cool.
Yeah, definitely an awkward interaction to say the least. Overall.
But hey,
That being said, we are going to move to the party, going to the Arasek stockyard. Let me move us over to the city of Valaki.
super hot in my apartment, so like this can just came out of the fridge and it's like dripping water all over my shirt from the condensation.
Oh man, it's been so humid here lately too.
It's when I converted it to Fahrenheit, it was like high 80s or whatever here today because I'm used to Celsius, but it's in my apartment right now like 80, 81, etc. Fahrenheit.
My guy.
Yeah, it's hot. We got a heat warning this weekend, and I am sweaty and I am uncomfy. But summer for you.
Okay.
Yep.
So we are now out in the city of Valaki. Onyx, you'll notice that I separated out your token from everyone's.
Okay.
Feel free to choose a location and just let me know where you're wanting to hide to keep an eye out and what direction you're hiding or you're looking in.
So I should be probably back in here. I just chose like a dark corner. I'm just looking out to see interactions, see if somebody's like kind of creeping around and looking in other people's places, and pretty much just generally watching the traffic. The people in like this general area.
One point of clarification so I know where or who is Pidlick with.
Oh, me.
With you? Okay, so you just kind of have Pidlick
With Josh.
on your
With
back.
Josh. Not Onyx, with Josh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Sit in the walls.
you guys are able to go to the Arasek stockyard. As you're going along, going to just kind of note some of the places that you are going by. You pass by Holt's Manor. As you pass through here, let me get rid of the panther because it is no longer there. Okay. You see the Blackwater Tavern, which looks like it's bustling at this time of the evening. And even busier, you see the Blue Water Inn. And upon the Blue Water Inn sign, you see a familiar sight of a raven with colored feathers.
Oh, the little blue feathers?
Yes, it is a Mirabelle. Staying there, and as you're walking up, it kind of looks at you, cocks its head to the side, and you notice there are a lot of ravens around this tavern. But Mirabelle, as soon as you get like kind of walking past the sign, she flutters down and lands on your shoulder. For Herbert.
And I will immediately start giving it some rations. And say, Mirabelle, it's been so nice to see you. We've missed you terribly. But yeah, I mean, I know she's a raven; she can't talk. But
caw. So definitely is gobbling down the food very excitedly. Kind of croaks. And actually, what was it that you said? That was so nice to meet you or to see you.
Oh, we've been missing you terribly.
You hear in your exact voice the crow actually, or the raven say, missing you in your exact voice.
Oh, that's a neat trick. Wow, very impressive. Very impressive.
I won't require an animal handling check, but ravens have better capability of speech than parrots.
Oh yeah,
I've heard. Yes,
like it's crazy. They can like.
They're really good.
I heard like a raven that was able to perfectly replicate like the old dial-up internet sounds. Like it's kind of like they're able to just do sounds, and that's actually where the one type of creatures that can't speak in D&D.
Kenkus.
Yeah, Kenkus. It's
yes.
actually where they get their inspiration, is from ravens.
Yep.
Because they're able to perfectly mimic sounds.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'll introduce Mirabelle to Bartholomew, which is the copper figurine of an owl that I created a couple nights ago when I was inspired by Gond, we'll say.
Yeah, you were inspired.
I was inspired by Gond. Right?
So,
yeah, 100%.
When you show the owl figurine to Mirabelle, Mirabelle kind of cocks her head at it, and then like taps it with her beak, almost like trying to get it open for corn, or treats or something.
Oh, no. This is going to be your friend, or a friend. He's going to help me out with a lot of problem solving and just, kind of just be there for me most of the time. Or at least that's the plan. I just need to get the last ingredient.
That's not a dig at Maribel. Not at all.
Well,
Gonna be there for me most of the time.
look, listen, this is just—it's a magical servant, you know. But
So
He's just a servant.
I mean, you're your own person, so or
Familiar as hard
raven,
people.
whatever. So
kind of is cawing and isn't really sure how to take that because and you're not sure how she takes it as you're going along. So let's see, we are
Quinair's just recording his backpedaling so he can put this on X later. You're so getting canceled.
okay. So as you are approaching, you see kind of a gate to your right side, right here. And it has a sign right above it. It says Arasek Stockyard. Looks like it is open currently, but there are gates that normally are able to close off for the evenings or anything of the like. This large stockyard has several locked sheds along its periphery and lies adjacent to a roomy's warehouse. A wooden sign above the front gate reads Arasek Stockyard. Parked at the south, you can see the lines from where Rictavio's Carnival of Wonders was parked, but it is no longer there. And you would know that this is definitely where he had been with Graves, or with Onyx earlier. As you walk in, you see that there are some tents here in the back, and there is a middle-aged man and woman you would assume are a couple, kind of restocking some of the boxes, opening new ones, and moving around. Who is going to lead the way?
I will look to Conerith and I'll say, let me know if you need anything while we're here. I can order stuff that you need or whatever. But who looks like they're the person to talk to?
Both the man and the woman look like they are actively working in the store. It depends who you would be more comfortable speaking to.
Whoever's the closest.
They kind of look over at you, and the gentleman kind of nods his head at the woman and sets down what he's working on and walks towards you. He's like, evening, gentlemen. How may I assist you?
Yes, this is a fine evening to meet us, I suppose. I'm looking for some rather expensive material. I'm looking for some sort of incense, charcoal, or something like that might be worth somewhere in the realm of like 10 gold or more, perhaps.
Incense is difficult to come by. Here, and he's like, waves you over to some boxes. He's going through, he's like, my name is Gunther Arasek. This is my wife, Yelena.
Gunther, yes, I'm Herbert. This is Conerith here. He has taken a vow of silence, so don't take any offense.
They kind of look, all right, we get all types of folks here.
He can communicate with you, but it might be rather surprising. So he usually refrains unless you're ready to experience something new.
Okay. So incense. Yes, I think we'd gotten some. I think we'd gotten some from some of the Vistani lot last time they were in here. Not too much. We usually try to send it Father Petrovich's way.
Oh, fair.
Um,
But whatever you have, I'd love to take a look and see if it could suit my needs.
So we only have 2 blocks here of the we only have 2 blocks of the incense currently.
And how much
It's
would one block be?
I'd like to get at least 10 gold for it with how rare of an item it is.
Well, that's certainly fair. Let's see. I mean, do we need anything else while we're here? Do you have any do you happen to have any sort of ingredients or perhaps completed alchemist fire by any chance?
Alchemist fire.
I know that's rather rare, so
Yelena, pull out that that 1 pack from that group that left their stuff here. And she grabs what appears to be an adventuring pack at one point. He's like, you can see back there, and he points over here behind you where some of those locked sheds were. And he's going to be like, you can see that obviously we have different storage units. Those are all for rent. But we tell people, like, if you don't return or don't pay it for a certain amount of time, we keep what's in there. Unfortunately, some adventurers just don't return for their stuff. So we actually get quite a bit of adventuring gear here. If you would like to buy. The Alchemist Fire is about 250 gold.
a piece or
Yes, per vial.
I see. That may be a bit out of our price range at the moment. But the incense would be of particular interest to me. You don't suppose it would put Father Petrovich out if we were to buy both blocks of incense, do you think? Or would you be able to get more before he may need some more?
I may be able to. Tell you what. And he kind of waves you over here. Away from you surmise out of earshot of his wife as he's going. There we go. He's like, if you help me with something, I might be able to help you some. If you're willing.
I suppose it depends on what it is. I'll sort of look to Conera to see if he's like intrigued at all.
Okay, so my wife's birthday is coming up, and she loves Red Dragon Crush. Can't get enough of it. Thing is, shipments from Wizard of Wines have dried up. You get me a barrel of Red Dragon Crush, and I'll sell you stuff here at a discount from here on out. I'll even throw some stuff in it initially.
All right. I mean, a barrel, yeah, sure. I mean, sounds like if we can help them out, I'm sure we'd be able to find one.
Yeah, here. And he pulls one of the Alchemist Fire out and hands it to you. He's like, a show of good faith. Early payment.
Thank you, my friend. I really appreciate this. This will be most invaluable to us in our future endeavors. We do know the location of Wizard of Wines already, don't we?
Yes, it's east of Vallaki.
Yes, east.
or west,
And
west of Valaki. Sorry.
when is your wife's birthday?
It's about a week from now.
Okay. Well, I have some
Yeah.
time. There
So,
are some other things.
and he puts his finger to his lips and just says like, "Shh, I want it to be a surprise."
Of course, I'll tuck the alchemist fire into my pocket and sort of secret it away, like inside my jacket or something like that. Thank you, my good friend. Now, yes, we will take the 2 blocks of incense. And if I look at this, does it actually look like it's 10 gold worth of incense as per the spell, or is this just
You would
tempting?
know that this would normally be because you bought incense quite often when you were in Waterdeep and things like that. You would know that this same amount of incense would probably cost about 2 gold in Waterdeep.
I was wondering because of the markup on the alchemist fire too. I was like, do I believe that this would satisfy the quota of the spell in game terms?
You believe that each block would be able to be utilized per a spell.
Okay.
I'm basing that number off of the priest pack, which is listed as having 2 blocks of incense.
Cool.
So,
Nice. Well, you know, when in Barovia, here you go, 20 gold, as promised. I will pay the man.
he takes and he's nods his head and he's like, I'll keep an eye out for you.
Yes. If by any chance you haven't got any sort of like old leftover spell books of any sort from previous adventures, I know those would honestly those any books that contain what somewhat gibberish, basically.
Nah, those get bought pretty quick.
Yes, I did figure.
Unfortunately.
Yep, well, that's more than understandable. I think we're all set here, unless we want to stock up on some more rations. But we do have quite a few left over still, so I think we'll be okay for now.
Yeah. And you see, he would he would offer you to just kind of look around his store. And a lot of it is marked. He has everything on the adventuring gear table. However, they are all marked up 5 times.
Yep.
So, if there's anything on the adventuring gear table that you are interested in, that is what he would have available. It just is a bit more expensive than the rules is written for this particular store. Does anyone need a link to that?
I mean, I can just search items on like D&D Beyond and stuff, so I think I should be
Claire
good.
doesn't even have money, so I think he has 1 gold to his name.
Okay.
I will buy you things.
Is there anything that anyone is doing before returning to the church?
Nope. I think I'm.
Okay.
Well, actually, I think that since we're walking alone and we do have a little bit of time together, I think Herbert would sort of, at a certain point, an awkward point in the talk, go, so, by the way, I just wanted to mention that I do apologize for lashing out at you the other day when that unexpected thing happened. I was very upset at the moment, and I let my emotions overcome me. You did not deserve that.
Perfectly understandable, Herbert. We were all quite upset. I was quite upset.
I can see why. But just so you know, I don't think any less of you, and I should hope you wouldn't think any less of me. And we all had to do what we had to do.
Yeah, I expect there's going to be a lot more of that, unfortunately.
It does seem like there's a lot that we probably should do around here.
It seems like every situation that we've been thrown into, we're forced to make difficult choices. There hasn't been a lot of easy ones so far, and I don't expect they'll get any easier. I'm trying to find a way to cope with that. Prepare, I guess.
Yes, I tend to just find something to do. So, we'll do the best we can, won't we? If I do get some time to myself, or without much crisis level things to do, there's quite a lot I could probably accomplish for the people of this town, or more specifically the village of Barovia, I think, because they are in more need than this town. They seem to have quite a robust infrastructure so far. That's my particular bag, I suppose. City planning and whatnot.
Well, unfortunately, I don't know, it all just feels hopeless with what's looming over this land. I have a hard time thinking that anything but Strahd's removal could serve any weight to anyone living here.
Yes, I'm sure if we started making waves in ways that he was uncomfortable with, he would certainly do something about it. Like he did at the burial over in the village of Barovia. He sent his lackey to terrorize and disrupt what could have been a quite beautiful ceremony. But that does sort of intrigue the thought that maybe is that what he's interested in? That's seems to be the only time he's ever interacted with us was to traumatize us or other people. That is a curious revelation that I'm just now having.
It would serve him to meet new heroes upon their arrival and quash any hopes that they have of rising up against him. I mean,
could be a tactical move, yes.
If consider how many people are in this land, if all of them rose up against him, maybe something could be done, but if everyone's too afraid to rise up, then it doesn't matter. Just individuals he can deal with. Keep everyone's spirits low. I think
that imply that he sees us as a potential threat?
I imagine, despite how strong he is and how long he's lived here, well, actually, I guess because of how long he's lived, that he must be fairly wise, and I think it'd be unwise to assume that nothing is a threat to him.
This is true.
I think his greatest advantage is that the rot runs so deep in this land. Even his removal at this point would still only be an initial domino. There'd still be so much work to do. Because I'm sure there are evils that don't serve him that live in this land because it's convenient.
Hmm. Well, that's a terrifying thought. But I suppose anything's possible. Well, we have a lot to think about. But I suppose we're probably almost there now.
So, are we going left or right? I'm not sure if you guys had saw my question here. Are we going like
Where are we?
over this way or over this way?
I think we're. Let's see. What's the way? I think we go right here. And then just keep heading straight.
Okay. So, you guys go straight. Okay.
Do you want me to pause or just go right there?
No, you're able to just go straight ahead. You do see different people stumbling into and out of the Blackwater Tavern as well as the Blue Water Inn. As you're going, Mirabelle does hop off at the Blue Water Inn though, and join some of the other crows or the ravens there.
Oh,
And kind of caws at you as you're going away.
that's a great hangout. You know, lots of food droppings and whatnot. Perhaps I'll be back later. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so that being said, you arrive back in. We are going to go over what Onyx saw, but first we are going to do a quick bio break. We'll take about 5 minutes and then we'll be back.
Hey. 25.
Okay, thank you for returning with us. We are returning to see what Onyx saw while he was sitting here for probably about an hour, I would say. Now, Onyx, I'm going to allow you to be able to roll a perception check at advantage, and I will also allow you to add a +2 to it because you are kind of spending an inordinate amount of time searching around you and looking around.
Oh, not a nat 20? Where is it? Oh, I gotta hit space. I gotta click a thing. Ooh, that's green. This is nat 20. 23.
Yeah, +2
Ooh.
to 25.
25.
Okay, so you roll a 25. You get a great place. Did I have you roll a stealth check as well?
You did. I think it was a 12.
A 12? Okay. So you are blending in fairly well with the side of the church there. Let me pull up here. So you see, as you're watching there, you do see one gentleman walk by. It's one of the two people that had been around the tiger when it had first come out. You see him go over, bonk Graves on the head, have a conversation, and then walk back past you. He pauses at the edge of the graveyard, relieves himself, and then continues moving past. As he's going, he pulls out a flask, begins drinking, and he's kind of wobbling as he makes his way towards the center of town where Konareth and Herbert had disappeared too. As you are waiting there, and if there is any of these that you're specifically like, I would break my hiding space and go out and speak with them, then certainly you are able to do so. So you do see with a 25 roll, you see Vasily von Holtz walking by the cathedral, and he actually kind of walks up to the front doors out of your line of sight. Let me roll something really quick. There we go. There we go. There we go, and he would roll. Okay, you had a 12, correct?
Yes.
You see that as he's walking by, he kind of glances into the corner that you're at, and his eyes kind of light up like he does recognize you, but he doesn't partake, like he doesn't actually acknowledge you directly, and doesn't stop to chat as he's going by. See, I'm going to remove this gelatinous cube. And you see him walk back past probably about 2 or 3 minutes later, and he is walking along with Irina as they are traveling along. They walk past here and over to through this alleyway, moving along. It looks like they're chatting and just kind of going for an evening stroll.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't really see anything of note. You do see the two come back, Konarth and Herbert, come back from the Arisec stockyard, but you do not notice anything in particular aside from that. All right. Konarth, Herbert, you guys are all were able to recollect back into the St. Andrew's Cathedral. We are at this point. You guys are able to turn here, pulling you over. The evening prayers are well done at this point. It is becoming dark. Graves, you would return in tired after a day's work, but feeling well deserved of your rest at this point. You had a chance to read the letter, and it just had a small note written in a feminine hand stating to in the morning when the shops open, which you would know would be around 9 a.m. As far as a general time. And it's requesting that you attend the Wachter house.
As Graves gets back inside, probably very soaked and muddy, and sweaty, and just looking gross. He'd, if everyone else would be like, friends, have this, and just holds up a piece of paper.
Oh, what's that?
Lady Wachter has invited all of us for breakfast in the morning when the shops open.
Lady Wachter.
Yes.
That was the house that supposedly works with Strahd?
Supposedly, at least. Who knows? She had concerns about the burgomaster, which could be... doesn't really say either way, but... you know. And I've been interested in speaking with her more. I spoke with her briefly at the festival, but she has sent us an invitation to attend breakfast with her.
Well, this could be some sort of power play then, maybe? Nobles get up to all sorts of hijinks like this.
I'm not too familiar with nobility myself.
Well, I mean, we come into town and sort of have a bit of little influence, you know, we helped out with the whole tiger incident. We've dealt with monsters on the road and whatnot. They may see us as a valuable sort of resource to direct in a particular fashion.
Makes sense.
Well, suppose we can all find out in the morning anyway. Since you, are we all here, all four of us?
Yes,
Oh.
I believe so.
I'm here.
Yes.
Yeah, I realized
Hey.
that we were missing
I
a
was like-
token because I had moved him to the main map, and it
Hmm.
only lets you have one unique token at a time across all maps.
But yeah, I would just be like, I just wanted to let you all know that Konarth and I had sort of a chat about my behavior post the incident, and I just wanted to let you all know that I also just regret my actions there and just want to make good with everyone on that, because that's certainly not something I'd like to do.
What did you do?
I struck Konarth. I don't like to hit people that I'm fond of.
I don't think I recall that personally. Because Graves was there, but Graves was looking the opposite direction.
Yes. Well, in any case, I just wanted to let you all know that happened.
All right.
Are you gonna hit me?
Oh, should I?
I don't think so.
Well, then why would I?
Well, if you hit Conereth.
I mean, there is something to be said about sparring.
Oh, yes, that's fair. That's fair.
I suppose that's probably not what you meant, but you know.
No. No.
Father Petrovich walks over and seeing the sight of graves, he's like, I thank you for the care that you took to the grounds. I have a basin in the back if you'd like to wash up.
Oh, it was no worries at all. I would not complain about to wash up, though.
In fact, I have at least 4 tubs if all of you would like to. Most of the people have washed up that are going to. I can have some water heated as well if baths would be to your liking.
Oh, that.
I mean, simple wash would be fine for me. I still have something I'd like to do tonight. Might take a little bit of time, but in any case, yes.
It's like, I could probably fill the bath if you want, Father. As Graves has create and destroy water prepared and has 4, can cast it 4 times for like, I think 30 gallons each time.
I'll be honest,
So-
after I learned those alternative rules from the DMG, I'm really tempted to switch this campaign to it because it would really open.
Oh, the spell point.
Oh, the spell point?
Yeah, I really love that idea. I feel like and we don't have any warlocks in this, so it wouldn't.
We do have a warlock. He's muted.
I'm a warlock now.
Oh, that's
As well.
right. So the warlock ones would still be the same way, in the alternative rules,
Lame.
but because they have just the 1 level spell slot.
Yep.
So, yeah, because they're weird.
Yep.
And it'd be pretty busted if they could just always rest and have all of them back all the time. So,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Graves will fill all those basins though, because I can generate 30 gallons per casting. I got it prepared, and I got 4 slots left to do it. So, got tons of water.
So he actually points you into the area that you would know, and Yeska is actually in here as well, the altar boy, that had met you previously. I don't know if you guys remember, but he's this little guy.
Yeah, the little tiny guy.
It's so tiny. So Yeska is in here. There are multiple tubs. He kind of points them out to you. They're pretty easy to set out, and it's one of those things that kind of keep the tubs there and then move them aside when they're not needed. And they're kind of multi-purpose tubs. They're used for washing dishes, washing whatever is needed at the time.
Graves will go wash up for sure. He also took his chainmail off before he went to do the work.
How many tubs does he need to set aside?
I will take one.
What was that?
I will take one. But does Conereth smell any dirt as he goes by?
Conereth smell any dirt? Is that what you said?
Request.
Wasn't Conereth the one that smelled the
Oh.
soil on our packs?
Yes. He had. Roll me a perception check.
I know it's weird. Does Conereth
No,
smell dirt?
No, because he was the one that used the sense of smell. And
See, I'm used to like Reno being the one to be like, "Do I smell anything?" As this Loxodon in the other game.
Freaking Loxodon, man. You have to use the nose if you're a Loxodon. I mean, it's the law. I believe you are at advantage for that as well, Conereth.
Oh,
It's gonna be
Nice.
23
Big difference.
total.
Okay. You do smell the same thing that had been on your packs from Graves.
Damn it.
He appears to be covered in the same amount of dirt and everything that Graves was. Or that Milavage was, and it is of the same earth that you can smell.
There's a zombie coming out and stealing our stuff.
Graves
Did you
stole
find
our
any
stuff.
secret passages in the graves?
I did nothing yet. I've yet to fully explore every nook and cranny, so who's to say? But nothing stuck out yet.
Is there any sort of like mausoleum or crypt or anything like that out there?
Probably.
You would have seen that there are some, particularly the Martikov,
Vlakovich and such.
the Vlakovich, and the Vokter families would all have like a separate crypt. They are very unkept and very old.
Okay, so relay that and be like, I have yet to go into any of those mausoleums, but yes, there is one for the Vlakovich, the Vokters, and the Garyans already blanking on the other name, something with an M.
So you would know this, that the particular mausoleum that you would have seen, Graves would have the knowledge that these are more so areas that in cold times they'd be able to keep the bodies in until they could bury them at a later time, or they would be of the size that they would utilize bone boxes instead, which is basically once the plots have been there long enough and people's bodies have deteriorated, they collect all the bones into a small box and store them in the mausoleum instead of the whole body.
Yeah. Grace would relay that. She's like, I hadn't really had any reason to go in any of them yet, so.
That's fair. Might appear like you're poking around where you don't belong.
Yeah, I don't want to like look suspicious.
Yes.
Did you notice any freshly dug graves?
Well, I mean, I dug like 6 today myself, but.
Oh.
And Milavosh was keeping a couple extras and such, so like there are always freshly dug graves here, it seems. I don't think any stood out.
Ones that had already had gravestone.
GM, did I see any of those?
Because it was Isaac who asked us to look into some grave robbing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, were there any like maybe recently buried?
Yeah, ones I guess that maybe have been dead for a while, but look like they were redug up. Whatever.
You would have seen one very recent grave.
Was it Hans?
It was.
Yes, the only recent grave that I saw that had a stone was for Hans.
Okay, well, at least they haven't been victimized by the grave robber recently.
Right.
But just keep an eye out for any sort of recently reburied graves, I guess.
Yes.
To
That is
confirm.
wise.
Could
Yes,
just
I will
confirm.
keep an eye out if I'm out there again. Anyway, who else having a bag? Says Grace is like pulling tubs in.
I need to get the dirt out from my joints before it causes some problems.
Oh, there would have also been one other thing. That note would have stated it would have stated something along the lines of dress appropriately.
We gotta bring our new
Damn it.
drip again tomorrow.
Oh, yes. Got to dress up again.
Onyx slowly sinks in the bath and tries to drown himself, and then realizes he doesn't breathe.
Graves just like pulls out another tub, casts like create water, and just like a torrential jet of water just like shoots out of his hand, like splashes everyone in the room.
Does it come out?
Oh.
Or does it,
I don't think
you
the
have to
spell
use that?
specifies, so
Why not, right?
clean water
I mean,
yeah,
I'd allow it to be warm. Maybe not like boiling hot that could harm, but
Sure.
but
definitely
it's a warm bath.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, it's a
mean,
warm bath.
there's nothing saying it has to be cold. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it at
But
least
it-
be room temperature, if nothing else.
Yeah, it's not like a spell that can damage. It's not like scalding water, but like it could probably be warm.
Just
Now,
cast
if
continual
anyone
flame.
has prestidigitation, you are able to warm non-living material.
Oh yeah. Well,
I-
yeah. So it
Also,
comes
just
down,
clean
like-
yourself without a bath. You know.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have prestidigitation, so I will
Yeah.
heat up the water and make it smell really, really nice. Like rosemary and lime.
Mm. We're gonna
Mm.
close the door and like heat up the water and get all the steam going. Just get a little sauna.
Nice. There's
Mm.
something like, even if I had the ability to magically like make myself completely clean every day, I would probably still bathe because
Wait, in
it's very calming and peaceful and like
a just under 3-year campaign that I just finished GMing, there was the wizard in the party was like a 70 or so year old Domfear. And they found out partway through, because my wife's character was like, we gotta have, like, I need to have a bath to get ready for the banquet. Or at some point, whatever. And then it's like, Seth, and he's just like, I've never had a bath in my entire life. I've always just used prestidigitation. So they taught him how to take a bath. Because he
jeez.
spent like decades just being like, why would I do that? I'm clean.
Okay. Konerith,
Yes.
what do you do?
I'm also gonna bathe.
Okay. Do you remove your gloves?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want to describe to the party what they see when you remove your gloves and likely shirt?
Yeah, sure. So Canarith kind of like goes over to a basin. I'm assuming they're not like all right up close to each other. He's
That's
not
like
trying
the
to be
four
in-
corners of the
spread.
room.
Yeah, spread in the four corners of the room.
So he just kind of goes over to a basin by himself and slowly starts disrobing. And if anyone is astute enough to notice, as he takes off his gloves, you see that his usual, like, very pale alabaster skin is not like that on his arms, stretching up to his forearms, going up to his elbows. It's actually a deep purple that starts from his hands very deep and kind of reaches its way up his arms, almost like veins or vines. Just color change.
And
Graves
this
would probably
purple
know
is
'cause
almost
he's-
like an eggplant purple. For
Big.
like how dark it is.
Graves has seen Konerith bathe before at like the death house, whatever. So Graves probably would notice it. I don't think
that
he
wasn't
bothers
there
saying. Yeah, I don't think he bothers saying anything though. He'd be like, it's magic shit.
It was not there when you saw him bathe at the death
Yeah.
house.
So like Graves would notice it, and he'd be like, he's got weird shadow shit going on that honestly I don't know if I want to know. So because like
Ignorance is bliss.
Graves has seen like pretty much every time he's used the shadow stuff. Like Graves has seen it, and he just kind of like, you know what? I've got too much going on. I don't want to deal with this shit. So he doesn't say
I got my
anything. He
own
notices
problems.
it, but he doesn't say anything.
Okay. And if you aren't specifically hiding it, sorry, I dropped my pen cap. If you're not specifically hiding it, most the others would likely notice it as well.
Yeah, it's like
I-
he's not drawing attention to it, but he's not also. like,
It's something
trying to hide
that it stands out very much because the rest of his body is so pale, and then there's just like this purple, dark sheen on his forearms and hands.
Did you touch something extremely cold at some point that I missed? It looks like you have frostbite potentially, or what? I'm sorry. Are you okay? What's going on with your hands?
Oh no, I'm perfectly healthy. This is a new thing.
New thing. Okay. Well, I was just concerned because usually when your hands turn purple, it means like blood is pooling up or something like bruises or. Anyway, I guess if you're okay.
I sent you a
Yeah.
message.
Checking now.
I don't know. It's new since Barovia, but it doesn't seem to be causing me any harm. So
I suppose that's good, but as long as it stays that way. All right. I will turn to go enjoy my bath.
Graves has gotten into his bath. He's got a little like razor out and is like getting his nice clean razor line stubble. Once again, as you may have clued in by the fact that he avoids mirrors, but you now see he is doing all of this just like staring off into space. It is like his beard is like clean, like very like fine lines. And he's normally got his makeup and such, which is very well done, but he's not looking in a mirror at all to do it. But he's just starting doing the shaving now. Barely ever nicking himself.
Okay. Onyx, you were asking some questions. I'm not sure if that's pertinent to
This area, yes.
is okay. And I will leave that up to you how you would like to approach that. I'm fine with pretty much any way that you're currently looking at.
I'm down to 0 specimens.
Geez, did you make that up a while ago, or is it something?
Yes.
Oh gosh. So you had said that you had scented this as rosemary and lime. Was that what?
Sure, yeah. That's
I couldn't remember what it was that you had said.
You know what? Actually, let's say I'm gonna snap my fingers and switch it to like lavender and rosemary.
Okay. So, Onyx, you are in here and you have a strange feeling of like a burning sensation behind your faceplate that you've never felt before. But you don't really have any other sense of that.
Okay.
As you're going along.
And
Onyx can smell now.
Onyx like dips his face in the water a couple times to like get the burning sensation away, and realizing it's not helping and only making it worse, he will quickly scrub his joints and leave without saying a word.
After about 10 minutes, the burning sensation disappears.
Okay.
So, any tub talk happening, or are we just kind of going through that?
Quinaire's gonna crocodile.
Okay. So
Graves is doing like the Geralt.
Herbert,
sniff,
were
like,
you doing?
yes.
Were you actually bathing? Or were you just doing the prestidigitation bath?
No, I'm taking a bath as well.
Okay,
I think
you're like,
I think
might as well.
it's a good opportunity. Everyone else is doing it. It's a community thing, you know.
Mm-hmm. You guys,
Good for morale.
Yeah.
Onyx stares a little bit, looks down at his Ken doll-like figure, looks over at you guys.
Like Graves has an 8 strength. Although he does have pretty good dex and cause, so he's not like shriveled, but he's just like super muscly. He's a lot more like lean physique.
Herbert
He's got a very nice jawline.
Herbert is lean but he actually is pretty ripped because he's got a 14 strength, which is not
Nice.
bad, you know. But his constitution is only 12, so I think he's pretty skinny.
Yeah, I have 12 com with 14 dex.
So-
and then,
Because your attractiveness is determined by your charisma, right? So you can be like
Oh, yeah.
ripped, but
No,
also not attractive.
He's got
So-
all the baseball biceps, you know?
Graves is a pretty good looking guy despite being like not super muscular.
So each of you guys are going to gain, after this next long rest, you will gain well rested.
Skyrim
Which-
time.
Yeah, I'm going to just allow you to do one advantage roll of your choice the next day.
Nice.
Graves just spends the whole night in the tub
So
because he doesn't fall asleep, and even if he did, he'd just fall in and he doesn't need to breathe either. So
even when it gets cold, like you just don't care.
yeah, he's just like, yeah, whatever. It is. I say it doesn't get like super cold, but it's like, yeah, I'm just gonna chill.
I mean, your body would
Nope.
start to bloat at a certain
I mean, yeah, he'd probably like after a few hours get out, but
He
he'll
just looks
chill.
like a corpse
Yeah.
in the water.
When he eventually starts to shrivel up, he's like, I guess I should get out. But he spends a good long time chilling in the tub, just full like out like Geralt, whatever, just like yeah.
So, does anyone look at the Tome of Strahd this evening before turning in?
Man.
I'll leave it up to everyone else unless someone asked to take it from me to look at themselves. Conerith would. So, but I don't want to take the opportunity if someone else wants to. So,
I think Herbert would love to lend his mind to it because he does have a good investigation bonus, but he is pretty interested in getting his familiar up and running.
If Conerith brings it out, Graves would like give him a hand with it because he's got a pretty good investigation as well as such. But he wouldn't just like take over, but he'd like definitely like, oh right, the book. Let's take a look, see what we can find out, and like go through it with Conerith. Pull his tub over closer.
Onyx
You
is
are
in the
able to-
corner and freaking out a little bit, like going over every inch of his body and making sure everything is 100%.
You even if you rolled a medicine check, you would have no idea what this is, Onyx.
Okay.
You is your panic apparent to the others?
It's definitely something I've never done before.
Okay.
He's just doing his like monthly diagnostics.
In a hurried fashion, yes.
Yeah. Graves and Kennarth, you guys would notice. Herbert, you would notice as well. And I would say that out of everyone, you would probably notice the most because you've kind of have the mechanical mindset to know Onyx is a machine, a very sophisticated and well-built machine with magic entwined in it, but a machine all the same. And you would have the mechanical mind to understand somewhat. So you would probably be the person that would notice the most.
Everything okay there, Onyx? Have you detected a malfunction of some sort?
Possibly. A face. It was burning, I guess is the correct terminology. There is a pain
Burning.
behind the faceplate that I've never felt before.
And you do normally feel pain like in battle and stuff like
Oh,
that?
yes.
Yeah, just because it's good for soldiers to feel that because it, lets them know when they're in danger.
is
Exactly.
it the same kind of pain?
Are you having a migraine? Like some sort of allergic reaction to like incense or something?
Behind your faceplate.
What's that?
I mean, which part? The migraine or the allergy? Those are probably different things.
Allergies sort of like an overreaction of a defense mechanism within
Your
own
body thinks something is bad for it and tries to fight it. A migraine is kind of like a pain in the head, sometimes from like stress or pressure, your muscles being really tight, or like it's really humid out could even cause it. The guy with chronic migraines starts explaining migraines. They can be like located in a specific spot, or they can kind of move around.
I was gonna say, is it localized behind the
Yeah.
faceplate?
Kind of like
Yes.
sinus area.
It's right here, and I smack my hand against my face.
Oh, you have some sort of like sinus, like the equivalent of like a sinus migraine or something.
Do you want me to take a look? Is that possible? Is it?
I don't know.
You can roll. Would that be? I'd say an intelligence check with proficiency.
Tinkerer's tools or something.
All right.
Yeah, if you do have Tinkerer's tools, you are able to do it at advantage.
Do not have Tinker's tools.
Just remove Onyx's faceplate.
But
You can
if
see
I
his
had an
brains.
hour- I'm not proficient with Tinker's tools currently either. So, but I could make like an investigation check, basically.
Okay.
Oh, that's not a great roll, but rolled it with the D&D Beyond extension symbiote 12, I believe.
Oh, yeah, I saw it pop up.
Okay. You are able to see, as you're kind of looking around, that there is a little thin line around the front of the face. Pretty much looks like it is a plate that can be removed. You are having difficulty finding where there would be screws or anything like that. It appears you expect that something that you would need something thin to pop it open and then it would come off. Kind of like it
Revealing-
snaps in place.
Revealing Robert Downey Jr.'s face.
Yeah. I mean, this pot seems like it could come off. Does it hurt if I manipulate it at all? Is that okay with you?
Sure.
I have some lock picks if that helps you.
I could try to fit something from your lockpick kit in there and pop it off.
Roll me a sleight of hand check if you are going to attempt.
Great. I'm excellent at those.
I was gonna say, I didn't ingest anything, so it can't be an allergy, right? And why would I have a headache? I've never had pain like this.
Well, it's not about ingesting. You could be sensing something too, like your olfactory senses take in things. And
Yeah, sometimes like even like a smell, your body's like, oh shit, that's bad. And
So
starts
I-
reacting to try and get rid of it.
13.
Okay. You are able to kind of slide it in between the two areas. And as you're sliding it along, you hear a click. And the faceplate pops out about a quarter of an inch to a half an inch. Onyx, you feel no pain, anything like that.
Okay.
The normal sensors that you would have, like for temperature, do feel a bit more sensitive once this happens in the facial area, but nothing of note as it opens up. Herbert,
yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna just take a peek around and look for any maybe like some junk stuck in there or anything that looks like it's out of place.
Get some bubble gum.
Okay.
Are
So
you used
as-
to dealing with machines that also have like
I mean, I
tendons
know
and shit in there?
I know what the outside of you looks like, so I can sort of correlate that to the inside, right?
Yeah, so as you open it up, you see you probably in some of your medical studies have had to deal with cadavers and things of that nature. The faceplate, when you pull it away, it has kind of a grid slot for where the mouth is. It has holes for the eyes to appear through, but it doesn't appear that it has any of the mechanics connected to the face mask itself. It looks like most of that is held on the body of the head instead. As you pull it back, you see Onyx's eyes underneath. They are kind of two glowing orbs. You see a circular disc near where his mouth would be, and that is where his voice was coming from. When you pulled it away, there was no moving parts making the sound. If I recall correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong, Onyx, your mouth does not move when you speak, correct?
Correct.
Or head. Okay, so yeah, it's just like almost like a speaker, that you would know. And then
Smallest
you do.
sonograph I've ever seen.
You do see though something that's interesting. As you pull it open, you can tell. You've been able to tell on the outside of Onyx that Onyx is a mix of wood and leather and metal, and kind of a conglomeration of organic and inorganic material. As you open it up, you see that around where a person's nasal passage would be, there's actually strips of leather that have mushrooms that are very tiny, almost looking like capillaries, lining the entire inside of his nasal passage. And it is a summation of a combination of organic material as well as the inorganic material to create a facade of the organ that should be there.
Oh, incredible! You have a whole olfactory organ back here. It's this faceplate seems to be largely ornamental, but I mean, I suppose everything seems to be in order potentially. Maybe some water got into this sensor and sort of disrupted its function because it's organic.
Roll me a perception check really quick.
Do that. Perception.
So we have one person that's going
Oh.
purple.
That's
Another person
crit.
that had his face removed.
We're a perfectly normal bunch of people, right?
We've like all died at this point.
Yeah.
Except
Graves
for
died
Onyx.
just before the adventure started too, and then woke up in a grave like, who the fuck am I?
I think Herbert has just a bunch of scars like around his neck that just look horrific because his neck was broken by the wolves and he died and then just back.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I got a 22. On that
Okay.
perception.
There's no sign of water at all within this area.
No, doesn't seem like that's the issue.
But out of game, we're all like, I know it's happening, but in game, we're like, what the fuck is going on?
Is perhaps was this here before? Were you able to smell? Are you able to smell normally?
I know what smells are based on my programming, I guess is the best way to put it.
Oh, well, that's very interesting. You seem to have developed a new feature somehow.
And what's that?
You could potentially unlock this ability to smell things with this, what seems to be in here, this organ.
Well, like I said, it's like if I'm in a smoky room, I know the smell of smoky based on what my programming tells me.
Oh, so you can sense your surroundings through...
Yes.
Oh. Yes, of course. Sorry. Misunderstood. Okay, well, I mean, nothing seems to be awry up here then. Do you still experience this discomfort?
It
Or
is Where are we doing? We're in the opposite room, right? We're over here now, right?
I don't know if it had been decided.
Yeah, well, that's where we're staying. So I think that's
We had all
where-
gone back to our rooms.
Okay, then yes, you're in the opposite room. So you would
To our room.
likely not feel the burning sensation.
Right. It'd be like
Unless
waning.
is anyone still wet?
I mean, Graves probably just got out of the tab or something and came over.
As
drying
Graves
off, whatever.
walks over, the burning sensation returns.
It's Graves.
What? What's me? What?
I
Is he just like wrapping his towel around his lower self? Just like handsome
Well-
man, dripping man watches like, what is me?
Graves has like an electromagnetic field that's causing my face to burn.
Are you allergic to me?
I will cast detect magic just to see if there's anything going on.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll just use the, not as a ritual. I'll just cast it with a spell slot.
So, as you cast detect magic, whereas Onyx normally doesn't show any signs of like magic, his entire face is lit up with a lot of different magical capabilities that seem to be working together in tandem to keep him maintaining. You do see that around the nasal is a combination of like transmutation magic as well as illusion magic around the olfactory system. You do see your prestidigitation on the water of Graves. And then other than that, other than like the typical magical items and stuff like that, you do not see any other signs.
There's a lot of magic inside you, Onyx. Just so you know, keeping you going. That's quite fascinating. A lot of intricate spells. I wonder how long it must have taken to develop or cast these magics. To imagine that they continue to run autonomously for so long, too, is quite incredible. You must have some sort of power source within yourself. I would imagine.
Nothing that gets changed out as far as I'm aware of. None of my other brethren that my master made had any like powered stones taken out of them.
Well, we should probably investigate and see what we're dealing with, but I would hate to, I mean, do you have any sort of sense of like how much power might be left in this thing? I mean, it could be years, could be, I hate to say weeks, but, just the thought occurs to me while we're discovering this.
Oh, I mean, I've never known one of us to just stop.
But it could be hundreds of years too, Could be the complete opposite spectrum. You may live for 1,000 years.
I mean, and then I fake like I've just died. Come back.
I'll just
Who'd live forever? Oh, he's dead.
When does your juice run out? Right now.
Now, I've heard stories of, or I can't say stories, but my master used to talk of a place where he got the ideas of us from, and I never once heard him talk about what to do with us when we like powered down or ran out of juice or anything like you're talking about.
I mean, who knows? Maybe it's a completely renewable source, which would be probably something a lot of people might want. So, it almost would be better for that not to be the case.
The power in Onyx's eyes kind of like shifts. His version of like glassing over and not understanding what you're saying.
Well, the thought intrigues me, and I just want to make sure you're okay too. Like, if you're in it, so the discomfort is coming from Graves.
And I'm like
Is there
starting to
anything different about him?
rub the center of my face cavity.
I mean, I dried myself off with prestidigitation. I mean, I'll try to do the same for him, I suppose, and just make him smell just normal, and I'll see if that changes anything. Because I think that's probably the only immediate difference that he can take care of.
So you are doing what? Sorry.
I will prestidigitate Graves dry.
Okay. So as you prestidigitate him, you do notice the burning sensation dissipate.
You did it! You fixed what's wrong with Graves!
I'm going to try something. I'm going to make myself smell like bacon.
Okay.
And see if Onyx reacts.
You smell funny.
Yes, I do. And I will dismiss the effect. I will reproduce actually, I will... Can I make myself wet? I don't think I can. I think it says you can dry stuff. Warm, chill. Oh, that's right, because we were ruling that it was like you can clean or soil an object.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't soil myself with just water. I cast create and destroy water.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
I
Okay.
actually also have it prepared.
Yeah.
The room gets soaked.
I just rain everywhere.
You can make it come as rain in a 30-foot area.
Okay. So you cast Career Destroy Water, and you are now soaked.
Yep.
Okay.
Does that change anything about Onyx?
Onyx, you do not feel any effect.
Nope.
It's not water? Was it... I'll make the smell of lavender over in the air.
Onyx does not feel any effect.
I'll make the smell of rosemary.
It's Onyx!
Onyx feels burning.
I quickly dismiss it. And I go,
I might have punched you if you had done it. Just so you know.
Onyx is allergic to rosemary. Got it.
Interesting. Well, you may have an allergy to rosemary.
How?
I don't know.
I am a machine, am I not?
Mostly.
What do you mean mostly?
There was you have like an olfactory organ within you. Like it's looks organic.
And there are organic parts involved.
Yes.
I mean, leather is not machine. It's organic.
I suppose, I mean, if you break it down, a body could be called a machine. If by definition, it's just a concoction of, mechanisms working together in concert.
Pidlick is made of wood that was alive. Doesn't mean he has allergies.
No, but you have a nose.
So that we know of. Because Graves is just there, like, just a towel, key hanging out on, like, spreading his legs. It's like, yeah, no, we know of. Just sitting there, no shame.
Oh, I meant to ask
I'm
because I didn't
prestidigitating,
ask.
like drying things up too.
Conerith, is it just your arms and up, or does it like spread down to your feet as well?
At the moment, it's just from the tips of my fingers and it's up my forearms.
Okay.
And it kind of fades out into vine-like or vein-type shapes.
Are you affected too, Conerith? Do you have this Allergy? Is that what's
No,
wrong?
There's no discomfort involved. It's just discoloration.
What Weinstein birthmark, except it appeared much after he was born.
I think
I
that
have my suspicions,
by
but I'm not
definition-
willing to act on them yet.
might be by definition not a birthmark.
I
Definitely.
mean, yes.
Like it's a mark I received when I was not born.
Yes. It is a random
rebirth
day.
Uh,
of sorts.
Yeah.
That being said, now that we have fully investigated the
Onyx's allergy.
olfactory allergy, you are able to rest up. Anyone that wants to help with the investigation is able to do so on the tome. I will probably limit it to 2 people though, just because it is a book and it's hard to
Yeah.
share.
I can, and I have
yeah.
a good investigation.
Herbert's looking to do his ritual. It's gonna
Mhm.
take an hour, so he probably
Okay.
won't be able to.
So
be
he
involved.
dips. Okay.
Honestly, I'd probably guidance myself too, because why not?
Yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Okay.
There, team in it.
So, Conareth, roll me a investigation check.
Oh, it's one of my
you-
expertise skills. That's
You
why I
are assisting, so we'll do. We'll add Graves' bonus to the roll.
Plus
5.
5. Yeah.
Ooh,
I got expertise in it.
dang. Okay, so plus 5, and then you also have guidance. So this could be a really good roll.
Remind me, guidance is just plus a d4, right?
Correct.
So let's roll 10 plus 5 plus my 2, so 7, and then 17.
17 plus a d4.
Hey, 21.
Nice. Yeah.
21.
Let's go.
Pretty good.
Okay.
Not a natural, but still over 20. So
Yeah.
Okay. So we are going to let's see. Okay, you see a passage that you're able to, with the assistance of Graves, you are able to find out that it's written in a cipher, and it is in Strahd's hand that you're able to find. And what you are able to interpret says this: perhaps I have been wrong. Perhaps it is not reunion with Tatiana that will be my escape. Perhaps it is replacement. Can I find another to govern this realm in my place? I must take care not to show weakness. I must take care not to show reluctance. No one must know how hollow I feel, how empty my omnipotence is in the absence of satisfaction. My immortal, eternal image as a ruler of this dominion must never come into question. I must observe from afar. And that is where we will end tonight's session.
Sergeant
Oh,
Press. Without getting to breakfast with Fiona. Like the
It is true. We will have to change the title because I didn't expect the Arisex Stockyard, and I also didn't expect the olfactory mystery. So those, but you can never prep for anything. No plan. No plan survives contact with the enemy.
Instead of going to the doctors, we're like, dude, we're gonna have a bath, and Onyx has a fucking allergy. We gotta figure this shit out.
It gives me a very clear place to prep for next session.
It's
for
true.
The dinner for
Because we're
Lady
gonna
Vodka.
wake up and go do that. There you go.
Yeah.
Before
Nice.
we end, just Benerith, does it hurt? We be concerned. Are you concerned?
no. If anything, maybe I see it as a gift.
I mean, it matches your robes.
Good
Very
point.
within theme.
All right. Onyx is just like, yeah, he said he's good. All right.
Yep, he's good.
One, are you sure? And then he's good.
Yeah.
Yep. I don't got any
Well-
reason to argue further.
We are thankful for anyone who has watched with us. And as always, for the love of crits, like, comment, and subscribe.